And by the Breakfast of Champions, Wheaties, what the big boys eat.
Straight etched in your memory here at Indianapolis, like the terrifying crash of Salt Walther on the start in 1973, or A.J. Foyt winning his fourth Indianapolis 500. There was such a moment last year. Remember, Mario Andretti was leading the race, but closing in on him, and the other red car was young Danny Sullivan. Going into turn one, suddenly they were side by side. It was then that Sullivan made his move, moving briefly ahead, but then getting loose, losing it. Spinning wildly, almost hitting the wall. Somehow, Andretti, with a miraculous driving performance, getting by him, taking the lead, continuing in the race, and more miraculously, Sullivan himself continuing in the race, not only doing that, but in time, repassing Andretti, and wonder of wonders, Danny Sullivan winning the Indianapolis 500 of 1985. A moment to remember, and right now, Larry Nuber is down in the garage area with none other than Larry.
Well, Danny Sullivan, I assume you have seen that spin a couple of times over the last year. What is it, luck or skill to get you out of something like that?
Well, I think basically the first part of it was just luck and being down so low off the apron, but I think there was a little skill in the second half, just once I faced turn two, just to gather it up and be cool enough to not do anything drastic and spin it again.
Winning the Indianapolis 500 truly changes your life, doesn't it, Danny?
Absolutely, about as much as that spin. You know, it's been a fantastic year, and I'd like to have another year like that, but it's been great just with the recognizability, demands, and everything. It's been tremendous. I've enjoyed my reign as champion.
Okay, today, you start alongside of your teammate. Certainly you and Rick have had ample opportunity to get together. Have you discussed exactly what you're going to do? Are you going to communicate by hand signals or maybe visually during the parade lap?
No, not really. We just talked about what we thought was the best to do at the start, and we've also talked to Michael as well. And, you know, because we just all want to get through the first turn cleanly and all of that. And we have to remember that there's three people across the front row, and all the other races we do, there's two. So we said, don't forget if somebody pinches one of us to remember there's another guy in there someplace as well. And we just want to get through safely. It's a 200-lap race, 500 miles, and we got plenty of time.
One of the two clear-cut favorites in this race, Jim, Danny Sullivan.
Okay, Larry, thank you very much. Well, here's something, a fairly recent vintage here, the luxury suites in turn 4. We are told that they go for up to $110,000 a year, and remember, there's only one event here a year, the Indianapolis 500. Those were the suites up high there. Of course, these are regular grandstands. Over in turn 2, these are older luxury suites. That's actually a motel looking over the second turn. Told that they go up to around $45,000. There's a bedroom and a living room and a regular motel setup. Right now we're going back down to the garage area again, and Al Troutwig. Al?
Jim, if you're looking for a sign as to whether Mario Andretti's luck at Indianapolis may change, how about this? The winningest number on a car at Indianapolis is the number 2. It has won here 8 times, more than any other. And in 1969, the number 2 was on the car of Mario Andretti. Mario, have you thought about anything like that coming into this race?
Well, sure. I pay attention to some of it, or I take notice, I should say. But all I can say, it's a good omen, and I hope the good omen just works out the way it should be.
Of course, well documented already today is some of the bad luck that you had this month, starting in row 10. What will that create in terms of an atmosphere for you in the first few laps of this race?
Well, quite tense in the sense that I know what to expect, and that is for sure a lot of traffic ahead of me. So this is something that didn't change by the fact that we postponed a week. So I had more time to just dwell on it, but again, it's just a matter of getting down to business and trying to just get rid of some of that traffic. That's the thing, and that's what we're anxious to do now, and it's about to happen.
Mario, does your accident with Kevin Kogan a few years back affect your anxiety at the start of the Indianapolis 500 today?
I think everybody learns from something like that, and naturally, as I said, it was a great disappointment at the time, and no one wants this to reoccur. So, as I said, whether you're a doer or a victim, still, I think it wakes you up, and as I said, maybe you can be a little safer next time around.
All right, Mario, thanks for your time. Have a great trip today. Mario Andretti, a little stir-crazy, he said, from sitting around all week and ready to race. Back to you, Jim.
All right, Al, an interesting superimposition there that he started 32nd in 1981 and finished second in the race. Could that be a prophecy of things to come? Now, for the first time since we've been here, we're hearing the sound of racing engines. This is a brief warm-up period that is allowed. The drivers, of course, are back down in the garage area, but the engines are being warmed up by the mechanics simply for that reason, to see if everything is okay. Then they'll be turned off again. Some of them have umbrellas over the cockpit, not this particular one here, but many of them do, to keep the cockpit area somewhat cool for the driver, because it's going to be extremely hot out there today, and also humid, and they can feel that in the race car. These cars are tailored to the driver's body. They're very, very snug. There is the pole-sitting car of Rick Mears, number 4. You'll be able to spot that on the racetrack. And there's one of the umbrellas. Not for rain this week, most gratefully, but to keep off the sun. Now, as we said, the drivers are not there yet, but inside you won't be able to see the man, and we can't see inside the cockpit. However, it's a very fascinating place, and a man who knows what it's like to be in there, having driven in the race, is Sam Posey.
This is roughly the view the driver has of his cockpit. During the race, you're naturally reluctant to look away from the track for more than a split second, so the layout is kept simple. On the steering wheel, within reach of the driver's thumbs, is the ignition switch and the radio button, which you push when you want to talk to your crew chief in the pit. Just beyond the wheel are 3 gauges installed in such a way that when the engine is running and everything's okay, the needles point straight up. On the right, the tachometer. Maximum revs in the race would be about 10,800. In the middle, the turbo boost gauge. You want to see it steady at about 47 inches. To the left, the water temperature, calibrated in degrees centigrade. You watch this one because high temperatures could mean debris is blocking a radiator and you should pit. 2 test switches allow you to check vital warning lights. Low oil pressure, the worst news you can have. The engine's in trouble. The fuel pressure light flickers at first to warn you, then comes on steady when you've got about a lap's worth left of fuel left. Out of the driver's line of sight, but within convenient reach, is the knob which controls the amount of turbo boost. More boost, more speed. These blue knobs are turned to stiffen or soften the shock absorber. To the left of the driver are the levers which get a lot of use. Levers which adjust the sway bars, which change the car's handling. On the right, the gear shift, 5 speed, but only 5th gear is used out on the track. On the top of the dash, where it can't be hit accidentally, the button that sets off the fire extinguisher. So that's it. Simple and functional. There to serve and inform the driver, not distract him.
Well, that was the office, and there is the businessman, Rick Mears, out on the tarmac now, out in view of the crowd. They give a lot of pit passes out here for before the race, and that's Rick's mother there, wishing him good luck. Boy, tough emotional situation for all of the families of these drivers, as well as for the drivers themselves. The moment grows closer.
Every Monday through Friday, Mike Horner drives his Chevy S10 4x4 to work.
Hi, Mike.
But on Friday, November 9th, Mike made a different kind of commute. The Baja 1000, North America's most punishing off-road race. Could an everyday Chevy S10 survive? It not only survived, it won its class. So no matter what kind of commute you have to make, nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Now get 5.9 financing on new S10 pickups. Length of finance contract is limited.
Hey, old buddy! My mower broke down. Mind if I borrow yours?
Sure. Old buddy.
Why is it that the grass is always greener wherever there's a John Deere lawnmower?
Oh, you weren't around, so I helped myself.
Because you can always depend on a John Deere lawnmower to keep running when others don't. It's got adjustable speed drive, a blade brake clutch, and a 2 or 4 cycle engine.
Don't tell me. Your lawnmower's not working.
I don't even own one.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
Radio Shack understands that a computer purchase is a serious personal and business decision. But what's really important is the company behind the computer. At Radio Shack, when you buy a computer, you buy a company. A company committed to technology, service, and support. We'll be here when you need us. With a telephone hotline, training, education, and excellent service. Tandy Computers, in business, for business. Tandy, clearly superior.
To get rid of loose and peeling paint, you can get all worked up or get a Wagner powder.
Many of them are here, and as we say, the area continues to fill up. It's 35 minutes before race time, and we're going to have a big crowd. Right now, again, live to Jack Arute and the legend, A.J. Foyt.
Jim, when you talk about Indianapolis, you've got to say A.J. Foyt. He's won it 4 times, the only driver to do it. First question, A.J., a natural one. Can you do it today and make it 5?
I think we're going to run awful strong. I think we've got a good shot at making it 5. We've got a long ways to go in the field, and we're going to have a few breaks.
Well, now, looking at the weather, it's much different than last week, but it's also beginning to get quite hot. Does that change the strategy? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, we planned on a hot day, so I think it'd be in our favor. We did change the wastegate and the blower location on our marches, same as Penske did, and I think that'll be in our favor today.
So your concerns then are in the CV joints, the half shafts or drive shafts as they're called, that they may fail during the race if you didn't change it?
Well, that's quite true, and even though we changed it, a lot of cars are still having problems. We've had some problems too, so I think we got it whipped.
You have started more Indianapolis 500s consecutively than any other driver, and you've seen it go from 150 miles an hour to over 200. Getting faster as you get older.
That's what they tell me, and that's what it looks like.
What about the future for A.J. Foyt? You're going to run competitively here at Indianapolis and then go the rest of the season, or are you limiting your schedule a little bit?
Well, we're kind of limiting our schedule. We've got a lot of testing to do on the V6 Chevrolet, and we just want to have it really where it's a good race motor.
Well, A.J. Foyt starting in the back, but he'll be carving his way to the front. Another guy that's up front, though, is with Larry Newberg. Larry?
Well, there are many ways to show the pre-race tension, and here is Al Unser Sr. demonstrating how tight it is down here in the pit area, lounging on a little cart here, waiting to talk to us. $1.7 million you won at this racetrack. It's been very kind to you.
Have I won that much? I wished the teams have. Indianapolis is, I've been very fortunate here, so it's good.
Al, you are running the most unusual configuration in terms of chassis and engine at today's race. A Penske chassis and a Chevrolet Ilmor engine. Is this car ready?
Well, I think it is, Larry. I think that the car is, and I think the engine is. I think that Chevrolet has done a fantastic job on trying to get the Penske car ready, and I think we'll be in good shape. Just like anything, you never know in a race, and always something unfortunate that can happen. But I feel the package is ready, yes.
If there is a professional racing driver who has demonstrated the ability to finish this race, Al, it has been you. The last 4 races in a row, you finished in the top 5. What is the secret to making a car last 500 miles at this place?
Well, Larry, I think having a crew. The Penske team, they're just strong. Clive, my chief mechanic, they just, between all of them, they do such a job that's what makes it all. And then the driver, he just sits there and makes sure that he does everything right, hopefully, and you make it all come together.
Not only top 5 the last 4 years, but this is one of the people in today's race who's won this contest 3 times, Jim.
The driver just sits there. He's spoken like a 3-time winner of the race out today to try to tie